Hello and welcome into Doran Park here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Devin Dobeck alongside Wyatt Kopelman along with you for this one between the red-hot Bourne Braves and the Harwich Mariners. Mariners come in 9-4-0, 18 points tied for the best mark in the league and 1 point ahead of the YD Red Sox in the East Division. Bourne, on the other hand, after a really slow start, they lost four of their first 5 games, and now they're 6-7-1, up to 13 points. That's just 2.5 games back of the Katuitt Kettleers in the West Division. It'll be Logan Evans to the hill for the Bourne Braves. Wyatt, a familiar face, pitched against the Harwich Mariners in their meeting at White House, which ended up being a 3-0 abbreviated win for the Mariners in that rainout.
Yeah, Harwich did a great job of attacking him, and albeit still had Kalen Culpepper, Seaver King in the lineup, Devin. This is a pitcher now pitching against this Mariners lineup on his home mound here. He had a second season at Pittsburgh with 42 strikeouts and 8 starts made. He had 7 scoreless innings and a 5-run win at Georgia Tech before Pittsburgh finished 10-18 in the ACC. So he's going to try for a deeper start this time around.
Let's meet the Harwich Mariners, coached by Steve Englert. Leading off, the center fielder, Jacob Humphrey. Batting second, the shortstop, Ali Camarillo. Batting third, the left fielder, Kennedy Jones. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, Lorenzo Carrier. Batting fifth, the catcher, Brian Arndt. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Matt Scannell. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Kenny Lavari. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Devin Obi. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Ivan Arias.
Now batting, the center fielder from the University of Massachusetts Lowell, Jacob Humphrey.
Really looking forward to a great ball game here. Hopefully the rain will hold out. Something about these two teams getting together always brings a little bit of rain.
And for Evans, he's going to have to get a few men down in order, at least to get off to that momentous start that he needs. He got 3 earned runs in 4 innings with only 3 strikeouts the last time out against this Harwich team.
Eblin toes the rubber. Jacob Humphrey set to lead off. Had a pair of hits yesterday, also a handful of strikeouts, but another multi-hit game for him. He cracks the first pitch he sees down the left field line and foul. It's 0-1. Eblin, as you mentioned, a Pittsburgh Panther this past season, rising junior there. And his second time against the Harwich Mariners wasn't too bad when he pitched against them last time. Just, of course, the game, only 5 innings, and Harwich able to get the win, which was Steve Englert's 400th. It'll be a ball served in there. Adonis Guzman will be the end of the battery for Logan Evans here tonight. 1-1 pitch. Bounced in the dirt, and it comes right up off the netting in front of us. And so it'll be 2 balls and a strike now to the UMass Lowell River Hawk. Humphrey on the season comes in hitting just 179. He's been the leadoff hitter just about every time he's been in the lineup. And he grounds this one fair or foul. I think that hit the base. I'm not sure exactly what happened, Wyatt. I thought that caught first base, but it's going to be ruled a foul ball.
Devin, if anything, that went over the right edge of the bag. Still been a fair ball. I'm surprised at that one.
Yeah, no one knew. First base coach trying to figure out whether or not to tell Humphrey to come, and 2-2 pitch is chopped foul. Hope you're enjoying our makeshift video broadcast here on the road. Shout out to our producer, Sean Sears, and our team photographer, Anders Sailing, for making it work out so people have something to look at with the audio. 2-2. Misses down low, 3-2. Humphrey cracked a deep double to left field last night. Got all of it, looking to replicate that success here tonight. Leads the team in runs with 8, as well as strikeouts with 18. Payoff pitch, misses outside, and it will be a walk to start things here in the first.
7 walks on the season here for Humphrey entering today. Stolen bases, he has been growing with that capability as well, and just being able to get the right advantage and read balls in the dirt better. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sent him here with still none away.
And there's been the departure of Hunter Fitzgerald, who was the leading hitman for the Harwich Mariners. So now 3 of the top offensive weapons no longer with the team. Fitzgerald just departing for draft reasons, as Humphrey just back into first base with a head-first dive. Camarillo now the team leader in hits with 10. He had 3 of them last night in the 8-1 win against the Falmouth Commodores. Both these teams with pretty sound victories last night. Bourne really giving it to Cotuit 13-1 over at Lowell Park. A tremendous victory for them. Harwich, as I mentioned, an 8-1 victory at Gov Fuller Field. It's 0-1 now to Camarillo. And the pitch. In there for a strike. 0-2. And Jacob Humphrey, always a threat to run over on first base. Leads the team with 6 stolen bases. That's just a couple off the league lead. Another pickoff attempt, but Humphrey back in there safely. Camarillo comes in hitting 163. Will be headed to Texas A&M next season. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There goes Humphrey, and it gets by the catcher. Big bounce off that back wall. They got a brick wall back here at Dorn Park, so any ball that hits it really just shoots off it. Makes it difficult sometimes if there's an opportunity to take home plate. But Humphrey down there with a stolen bag and a runner in scoring position for the M's. Mariners wearing their road navy uniform, says Harwich in red across the front. Red numbers as well, trimmed in white, gray pants, red batting helmets, and navy socks. As here comes the 1-2, swung on a miss in the dirt. It's going to need to be a throwdown from Guzman, and it's there in time. First strikeout of the day for Logan Evans. Bourne wearing their home white uniforms.
Now batting, the left fielder
Says,
from
I
the
believe,
University of
Bourne
South
across the
Carolina,
chest in
Kennedy
red
Jones.
with their signature B logo as the B in Bourne. Red numbers. Dark blue trim and white pants to go with that. They're wearing their camo Cape Cod Baseball League hats as well. And it looks like there's been a balk, so down to third goes Jacob Humphrey here in the first. Harwich 90 feet away from breaking the scoring.
This is where Humphrey certainly has to be looking to score. Meanwhile, for Evans, just needs some mental fortitude after the wild pitch and the balk here.
That one is in there to Kennedy Jones. Jones had a big double last night in the first inning that tied him for the league lead with 5 with Harry of Cotuit. It was a 2-run double. As next pitch to Jones misses inside, and it'll be 1-1. Bourne, a tremendous defensive team. We'll get more into that in just a moment, but they really clear the field with ease. 1-1 pitch. Misses outside. 2-1. On deck, Lorenzo Carrier out of the University of Miami. Jones trying to get something going here. The pitch is foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, 2-2. Kennedy Jones, also the only player on the Mariners with a sac fly. He's got another opportunity to do that here with Humphrey on third base. The only active Mariner, rather. Seaver King had a pair. 2-2. Bounced in the dirt, makes it 3-2. Tremendous power in Lorenzo Carrier on deck. He can give the ball a ride. Be a lot easier if Jones could get on with a walk or a hit. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Logan Evans. The pitch. This is going to be grounded over towards the hole at shortstop. Grabbed by Vastine, and he goes to first. It's an infield single. In to score is Humphrey, and it's 1-0 Harwich.
Vastine at Vanderbilt, in addition to playing for the Duluth Huskies in the Northwoods League last year, has been very versatile and playing around the infield, but just a very quickly rolled ball. Didn't look all that fast, by the way. It came off, had some backspin on it, and nonetheless, the Mariners get that first run with that infield single.
So it's another RBI for Kennedy Jones. That puts him at, I believe, 13 on the season. That ties the league lead. First pitch to Carrier, misses inside, 1-0. Over on first is Jones. Not really a threat to steal that we've seen thus far this season. We'll see how aggressive Harwich elects to be. As Carrier chops this one back towards the Bourne dugout. Of course, Bourne's hitting coach is Jared Soltolomakia, the former Red Sox player and 2013 World Series champion. Hit that walk-off in the ALCS against Detroit. So pretty cool to have him around. Pitch to Carrier is cut on a miss, and now there's 2 strikes on him. Ball and 2 strikes, despite what the scoreboard may say here at Doran Park. Reading 3-2. The pitch bounced in the dirt, and it's 2-2. Carrier last night went 1 for 5. Ripped a single into left field on a line, but other than that, struggled at the plate despite Harwich posting 13 hits as a ball club. Pitch to Carrier is chopped foul once again, back towards the netting. Harwich bat boys out to retrieve it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Long look in from Logan Evans. The pitch. And he's rung up. That's a tough pitch to get rung up on. Right on that lower outside corner. There's 2 away, and let's meet the Bourne defense. They are first in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 5 errors. That's 6 less than Harwich, who's the number 2 defensive team. .990 fielding percentage, left to right in the outfield, Jackson Castillo, Sam Peterson, and Pete Shafreda. Third to first in the infield, Joey Lloyd, Jonathan Vastine, Bryce Eblin, and Derek Bender, with Adonis Guzman doing the catching. First pitch to Arndt is chopped foul off to the right. It's 0-1. Arndt leading the Mariners in batting average at .346 this season. He also leads them in slugging and OPS. OPS mark is at .895 for the catcher. 0-1 to him. As next pitch fouled off. Quickly 0-2 here. It's nice that it's not as muggy as it was yesterday in Falmouth, Wyatt. That was a really just sticky game overall from start to finish, but there's a cool breeze here in Doran Park despite forecasted light rain. 0-2 pitch. Misses up high, gets away. Kennedy Jones going to trot down to second. Now he's in scoring position with 2 away.
Jones with some speed on the base pass. Evans facing 4 right-handers in the top half of the Harwich lineup here. And despite Lorenzo Carrier wanting to move a runner over, that's a really tough pitch to take on that looking K.
Ball and 2 strikes to Brian Arndt. This is the highest we've seen him in the Harwich order all season. 1-2, swing and a miss. Down he goes. There's going to have to be a play down at first base, but it will be an easy put out. And the inning is over. Logan Evans strikes out the side, but not before walking Humphrey, and he is singled in by Kennedy Jones. 1-0 Harwich, headed to the home half. We'll meet the Braves on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back into Doran Park. Devin Dobeck, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. And let's meet the Bourne Braves batting order. Leading off the designated hitter, Chris Stanfield. Batting second, the second baseman and 2-time Braves player, Bryce Eblin. Batting third, the first baseman, Derek Bender. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, Jackson Castillo. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Sam Peterson. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Pete Shafreda. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Jonathan Vastine. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Joey Lloyd. And batting ninth, the catcher, Adonis Guzman. It'll be Tim Noon headed back to the hill for the Mariners, making his third starting pitching appearance. Last time out for Noon, 4 innings pitched through 62 pitches, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, and just 1 walk, no strikeouts. Not his best outing. That
Now
came
batting,
back
the designated hitter from Auburn
against
University,
Brewster.
Chris Stanfield.
We'll see what he's able to do here against Stanfield, the leadoff hitter for the Braves. Noon now from Duke. Prior to that, he was with Babson. It'll be a ball and no strikes to Stanfield to start things here. The pitch is going to be flared into shallow right field. Carrier trotting in a few steps, and he puts it away for out number 1.
Noon, not much of a strikeout-centric pitcher. That being said, he only does have a handful of walks on the season, really just 3 as a matter of fact, much more ground ball inducing of a pitcher,
Now
and he gets a
batting,
fly out
the
there.
second baseman from the University of Alabama, Bryce Eblin.
Bryce Eblin's turn. Out of Alabama. Second baseman for the Braves. First pitch to him in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Eblin hitting .238 this season for the Braves. 5 for his first 21. As next pitch to him misses outside, it's 1-1. Next pitch from Noon is going to be popped up over towards the shortstop area. Camarillo under it, and he puts it away. And let's meet the Harwich defense for Coach Steve Engler in the outfield. Or excuse me, Harwich is the second-ranked defense in the Cape Cod Baseball League behind Bourne. 977 fielding percentage, 11 errors for them. Left to right in the outfield, Kennedy Jones, Jacob Humphrey, and Lorenzo Carrier. Third to first in the infield, Kenny Lavari, Ali Camarillo, Ivan Arias, and Matt Scannell, with Brian Arndt completing the battery for Tim Noon. 2 up, 2 down to start Noon here. He's behind 1-0 to Derek Bender, the first baseman for the Braves. Bender comes in hitting .538. That's 14 for his first 26. He's been on an absolute tear for the Braves. Sits in that 3 spot. It's a ball and 2 strikes. The pitch from Noon is fouled off, and so we'll stay at 1-2. Bender out of Coastal Carolina, a Chanticleer. OBP of 600 early on this season. 1-2 pitch. Bounced in the dirt, and it'll be 2-2. Two-two pitch. Misses up high. And Scott Landers, of course, winning the 2022 CCBL championship last season with Bourne. Trying to replicate it here tonight as the payoff pitch is going to be punched into shallow left field for a base hit. And Bender gets the offense started for the Braves with a single to left.
Yeah, 13 doubles at Coastal Carolina this season, and to consider what you get there, you get a 2-out base hit. You get your first hit on the day against Tim Noon, who is not susceptible to striking out a lot. So that's certainly got to feel good just to get off to that right start here today and set up your cleanup hitter.
Jackson Castillo's turn. Castillo on the season hitting .270. 10 for his first 37. Noon trying to work out of the runner on here with 2 away. As this one's going to be rolled over to the second baseman, Arias. He'll go to second for the forced play, and the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit. They leave 1 on. We head to the second inning. 1-0 Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Top of the second inning, it'll be Scannell, Lavari, Obi due up for the Harwich Mariners. They lead this one 1-0 over the red-hot Bourne Braves. Around the Cape Cod Baseball League, Orleans traveling out to Cotuit. There's no score in the bottom of the sixth. Brewster heading to Spillane Field in Wareham. No score there in the first inning. And Hyannis traveling to Falmouth at 7, with YD taking on Chatham at 7. So this is the only game with a score thus far in the Cape League, as it's 0-1 to Matt Scannell. Last night, Scannell 1 for 5, struck out a pair of times, also had a single. RBI single at that. As that pitch misses outside, makes it 1-1. Scannell, a Princeton Tiger. It'll be followed by Lavari and Obi. 1-1 pitch is going to be grounded slowly over towards third base. Up and throwing is Lloyd, and it's there in time. 5-3 put out to start the second.
The Mariners over the last 5 games, Devin, averaging nearly 4.5 RBIs per game. With that being said, you certainly have to get your runners on as well.
Kenny Lavari's turn, the league leader in walks with 11. He's found all kinds of ways to get on base, even without using the bat. In fact, only hitting .250 for the Mariners, but his on-base percentage is .450. 11 walks for him on the season, just 7 hits. But he's been instrumental to the Mariners' success on the scoreboard. First pitch to him misses outside, 1-0 to the Old Dominion product. One away here in the second as Evans comes set. Here is the pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. Lavari on the season does have 8 strikeouts. 1-1. This is outside 2-1. And for Lavari, his best game was undoubtedly his first. A game in which he went 2 for 2 and also walked a couple times. Was on base 4 times. Fantastic night all around for him. 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike just at the knees. So says the home plate umpire. Borderline pitch goes in favor of Evans. It's 2-2. Evans winds up the pitch. He got him. Strikeout number 4 for Logan Evans. He's set down 4 in a row now, and there's 2 away here in the second.
Not the trend you want to see if you're Steve Angler. The Mariners striking out 12 times in their lineup last night. And over the last 5 games, just over 9.5 times per contest. Just time to get going here with the lineup.
First pitch to Obi is grounded into left field for a base hit. Devin Obi picking up where he left off last night. Game in which he had a nice RBI knock. Grounds this one into left field. He's 1 for 1 on the day and keeps the inning going.
And he's kept the lineup going as well, despite going 0 for 4 against Yarmouth Dennis a couple nights ago. Really nice job and just being able to provide some 2-out sparks here. Obi with 4 hits on the season entering today.
Ivan Arias' turn. Second game playing in a Harwich uniform. And wow, Devin Obi snapped off of first base. Snap throw down, got him. Credit to Adonis Guzman firing it down to first base. And so able to face the minimum is Evans in the second. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Mariners. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Now batting, the center fielder from the University of Iowa, Sam Peterson.
Home half of the second, it'll be 5-6-7 due up for the Bourne Braves. Sam Peterson, Pete Shafreda, and Jonathan Vastine due up. As first pitch is grounded softly over to Lavari at third. He goes on to first, 5-3 put out, just like the top half started. And there's one away.
This is a hungry hitter for the extra bases this season at Iowa. Had 21 combined extra base hits, 11 home runs. Peterson trying to use the aggression there and failed ultimately.
Shafreda's turn. First pitch to him, misses low and away for ball one. Next pitch is going to be in a similar spot, but this time ruled a strike. So it'll be 1-1 now. Shafreda on the season comes in hitting .296 as he grounds this one over to first base. Scannell flipping on to Noon. A nice 3-1 put out. 2 up, 2 down here in the second.
Noon facing a tough middle of the order here. Shafreda with 50 hits at Lafayette this season, and as you mentioned, starting to get going this year as well. Jonathan Vastine, a tough lefty bat coming up here against the Southpaw Noon.
Stay tuned in the third inning. We got a special guest joining the booth here at Dorn Park. Really excited. First pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Vastine, the shortstop tonight, comes in hitting .286, the infielder from Vanderbilt. It's a ball and a strike to him. On deck is Joey Lloyd. Braves trying to respond to that one run the Mariners put up in the first. As that one misses outside, 2-1. 2-1 pitch is going to be lifted into shallow center field. Long run for Humphrey. Camarillo also going out. He's called out by Humphrey, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 they go. Heading to the third inning. Don't go anywhere. Special guest on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
There we go.
Welcome back. Top of the third inning. Devin Dobek joined by Jared Carabas, the host of Baseball's Ed podcast and the Name Redacted podcast, the #1 Red Sox podcast in the world.
That's correct.
Rocket, welcome aboard.
It's good to be here. This is fun. This is exciting. This is my very first time at a Cape League game, getting to do both broadcasts, throw out a first pitch. I was just in the dugout for the first inning. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so what's that about? So you got to throw the second pitch, really? Smokey the Bear beat you out?
Yeah, Smokey. I mean, Smokey is a legend. He's been around for a long time. I mean, like, that's one of those guys. You say Smokey the Bear, you know the name. It's I was happy to be runner-up to Smokey the Bear tonight.
There you go. Jared Saltalamacchia caught your first pitch, so pretty cool little Red Sox tie there.
Yeah, I'm checking off a lot of boxes. I've thrown out a first pitch to Alex Cora.
Yep.
I've thrown one out to Jared Saltalamacchia, so now I just need to throw one out to a 2018 and 2004 player to have all 4 championships catch my first pitches.
There you go. As that one's in there for a strike. Ivan Arias, he had his at-bat shortened after the snap throw off to first base. Next pitch from Evans in there, fouled off. And so you said this is your first time at a Cape League game. So if you didn't vacation at the Cape growing up, where was your spot that you went to with the family?
Newfound Lake. That was a big one with us. I grew up on the North Shore, and I was trying to explain this to people because they were like, how have you never been to the Cape before? I was like, if you grew up on the North Shore, you go to Lake Winnipesaukee, you go to Newfound Lake, you go to York Beach, Maine, places like that. And a lot of my friends are not baseball fans. So even in my adult years, I didn't really have anyone to come to the games with me.
Gotcha. 1-2 pitch, cut on a miss. Down goes Arias. And there's one away. 5th strikeout for Logan Evans. So Cape League alumni, as I'm sure you know, the premier summer baseball team. So do you have a favorite Cape Cod Baseball League alumni player? Of course, Jackie Bradley coming out of there. Plenty of Red Sox players, Ellsbury, Pedroia,
I
Veritek.
believe.
Yep.
Probably my guy Judgy, Aaron Judge.
No kidding.
Winning an MVP last year. Yeah.
As this one's grounded over to the shortstop, fielded by Vastine, goes on to first, and it is going to be in time. A 6-3 putout, and Humphrey is retired, bringing up Ali Camarillo.
Yeah, people forget that infamous picture of Aaron Judge wearing the Red Sox shirt, that
Yeah.
was during the Cape League.
Cape League,
That was
you got
Cape
it.
League.
The shortstop,
You got it.
Texas A&M.
So still hosting the Red Sox Name Redacted Pod. Can you just tell our viewers a little bit about that and what you do there in case you want to draw any audience?
Sure, yeah. I mean, we do a podcast twice a week. It's always right after every single Red Sox series. And then we have our national baseball podcast called Baseball's Dead. That comes out Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, so 3 times a week. And, yeah, the Red Sox podcast, Name Redacted, that's after every single series. It's fun. I mean, we try to keep it light because, you know, some of these Red Sox seasons haven't been very fun, but we try to keep it light.
This one's lifted in shallow center, long run in for Peterson, and he's under it. Out number 3. We'll keep it here amidst the break and do a little filler content. So, Jared, obviously we know how you got your claim to fame from your blogging and how you were critically acclaimed by all these Red Sox people, Red Sox Nation, and now you're the tribal chief of baseball.
That's right.
So 2004 was really, you were there, you experienced it, and you loved it. So with 2004 aside, what's your favorite World Series in the last 20 years?
I mean, it had to be 2018. I mean, that year, I started my blog in 2006 when I was 16 years old, but 2018 was the first year that I got press passes at Fenway. So that was really the first year that I was able to kind of build relationships with the players. So in addition to obviously being a diehard Red Sox fan, you're excited that the Red Sox won the World Series, but then you're out there seeing your buddies on the team doing things in the World Series to help bring another World Series title to Boston. And it all culminated with getting on the duck boats for the World Series parade, which was that was probably the best day of my life.
The Raffy video.
Yeah,
The laugh.
I only remember half of it, but the part that I remember was awesome.
There you go. And so if you had to pick a favorite Red Sox of all time, either current, retired, whatever, I know that's a tough decision for you. You can have some honorable mentions, but who's your number one?
Man, so I have to kind of phrase it as, like, which Red Sox player would I be the most excited to meet right now? And there's only one left, and it's Nomar. Like, Nomar was my guy growing up. But yeah, I've only kind of met Nomar. I was at the World Series in 2010, Giants Rangers, and he was with ESPN at the time. And I had him sign the back of my World Series ticket, but there was no conversation. I didn't introduce myself. I was too starstruck. So Nomar, if you're out there, you are my white whale. I would love to meet him and interview him.
There you go. As Lloyd fouls out over to a nice play by Matt Scannell, one away here for Adonis Guzman. Okay, now your least favorite baseball player. We're going to stay away from the Red Sox, not throw any of them under the bus.
Oh, we could throw someone under the bus. It's
Okay.
Pablo Sandoval, least favorite player of all time.
There you go.
Yeah, he was the worst.
That was not a great deal.
No.
Not our best. As
No.
this one's going to be hammered out into the gap in right center field. Going back is the center fielder Humphrey, and it's going to one hop onto the wall. Fielded by Carrier, rounding second is going to be Guzman. He's in there with a stand-up double for the Braves.
They did not have a guy there.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
No. Got to watch some BP earlier. Watch
There you go.
the Braves take some BP. Got to sit behind the backstop there. That was pretty cool. A lot of talent on this team.
Yeah, definitely some entertaining ball games. And now Sal Tulamakia coaching them up. No wonder they won the championship last year.
Who's the most famous player to ever come out of Harwich?
Harwich. Ooh, you got Lincecum. There's a bunt drop
Ooh.
down there. Going to be a tough play at first. It's going to be an infield single. Tim Lincecum, Josh Donaldson.
Oh.
Who else is there? There's Voigt. If I was looking. Both the Happ brothers.
Fun fact, I was the one who informed Josh Donaldson that he had been traded to the Yankees.
No kidding.
I was driving, I forget, we were coming back from like the TD Garden. Maybe it was a wrestling event or something. And I had the push notifications for Twitter on my phone. And it was like, breaking news, Josh Donaldson traded to the Yankees. And I immediately FaceTimed him. And he answered very confused. And I was like, I just want to be the first person to say, I hate you now. And he was like, why? What happened? I was like, you don't know? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you just got traded to the Yankees. And he was like, what? He's like, hang on, my agent's calling me. I was like, all right, see you later. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now him and Cashman and Boone, the whole gang, trouble in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He is not pleased.
Hate to see that.
Runners on the corners,
Oh.
and now they got him in a rundown. In trouble is Stanfield in a pickle, and he'll be tagged out by Scannell, I believe. They're going to rule him out for out number 2. So a nice play by the Mariners to get the pick off. How about a walk-up song? If you had to pick a walk-up song here,
Ooh.
what are you going with?
Well, as I mentioned, I am a wrestling fan, so I feel like at this point I would probably have to go Roman Reigns as my
All right.
walk-up song. It's
There you
kind of
go.
like a final boss type walk-up song,
1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled off.
which always confused me because I tried to talk some MLB guys into using a wrestling entrance theme as their walk-up song, and they would always say, I come up to country because it relaxes me. Like, I don't want to come up to the plate all amped up. And I was like, well, I don't want to be up there relaxed.
Well, we had Robles.
Yes,
Robles
The Undertaker.
came out to The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. Josh Reddick
Yep.
used to come up to Triple H and Fandango. I believe Austin Riley comes out to Stone Cold Steve Austin right now.
2-1 pitch is going to be lined up the middle for a base hit. Bourne ties the ball game at 1. A single for Bryce Eblin. And we're even at 1 here with 2 away.
Yeah, we need more WWE in professional sports.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Entertaining to watch for sure.
I'm glad the rain held up.
I know. We were worried about that for a second.
Coastal Carolina.
Kept looking at the forecast. I was like, I don't even know if we're going to get this first pitch in. Which, by the way, before I came over here, I was informed that I was the first pitch thrown at the Cape League so far to register on TrackMan, which I'm very proud of.
What'd you pump?
They said 102, but it felt more like 97. They were trying to pump me up. I was like, that's not 102.
First pitch to Bender is going to be grounded over to third. Lavari on to first for out number 3. Well, Jared, thank you so much for joining us here for the 3rd inning. It has been an absolute pleasure,
It's
and
great
welcome
to, meet
to
you
Cape
guys.
Cod.
Thank you very much. Let's do this again.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. We'll be back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Now batting,
Top of the 4th
left
inning,
fielder,
Kennedy
University of
Jones,
South
Lorenzo
Carolina,
Carrier, and
Kennedy
Brian Arndt
Jones.
due up for the Harwich Mariners. Hope you enjoyed our little segment with Jared Carabas. Wyatt, good to have you back as well.
Good to be here, Devin. 1-1 going into the middle innings here. Harwich wearing its Road Navy uniforms facing Logan Evans, the right-hander of Pittsburgh. Kennedy Jones taps it foul to the left side for strike number 1. Jones on the evening reached on an infield single back in the first. Rising junior at South Carolina holds 3 combined hits over the past 3 games. A righty-righty battle here. The 0-1. Misses the lower half below the knees. It goes to 1-1. For Jones, as you mentioned earlier, Devin, he has taken off scorching as of late. 8 hits on the season. The 1-1. Slider outside, it's 2-1. 1 run on 2 hits for Harwich, 1 run on 4 hits for Bourne. The Braves getting on in the bottom of the 3rd. Cloudy evening here at Durand Park. 2-1. Breaking ball lofted into center field, going in to his right, Peterson, as he makes the catch for the first out of the inning, and that brings up the slugger and Lorenzo Carrier. But you consider how Harwich has attacked the zone. It's not exactly falling behind in the count, Devin. That's going to be crucial just to get runners on base here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Harwich is going to have to figure out a way to get some offense. Only 2 hits through the first 3 innings thus far. Bourne really rallying there in that 3rd inning, tying the ball game up, and Harwich is going to have to find a different way to get things done.
First offering at Canese for strike number 1. Joining us late, Tim Noon, the Babson College pitcher on the mound in the start here tonight for Harwich. Here's the pitch. Outside, it's 1-1. Harwich getting on the board first in that top of the 1st inning with an RBI base hit from Kennedy Jones. Evans nonetheless striking out the side in the visitors' half of the opening frame. The 1-1 from Evans, low. Carrier striking out looking back in the 1st. Miami Hurricanes outfielder had 4 home runs in Coral Gables this season. Has been here since June 17th already. 2-1, grounded over towards the right side, a bouncing ball for Eblin. He steps, fires onto first, and there are 2 away. So the Mariners going down in order in the 3rd, and they're on the verge of that here in the 4th. Devin, to your point, just having to get runners on base in order to move them around.
Yeah, that's been we got to find our happy medium, why? Because we always complain about how many runners they leave on base, and then we complain when they have no offense. But the reality is when they leave runners on base, they're typically also putting runs on the scoreboard, so need Harwich to start finding ways, being more patient in at-bats, letting Evans pitch to them.
Well, here's a good customer to have in Brian Arndt as the UNC Wilmington Seahawk looks at it on the upper outside corner for strike number 1. Strikeout swinging to end the 1st. Looking for redemption here against Evans with nobody on. Harwich and Brewster tied at 1-1, rather Bourne. Line over to the left side foul, 0-2. Quiet crowd here tonight at Durand Park. Logan Evans, meanwhile, trying to retire 1-2-3 here in the 4th. The 0-2. Pins Arndt on the outer shoulder as the right-hander will jog down to first as the game's first hits batsman. And for Evans, what's going to be crucial for him in this start compared to last time when he gave up 3 earned runs in Harwich is just being able to have enough command, get ahead of hitters in the count.
Yeah, and Evans was in a serious rhythm before that. Had pretty much retired, however you want to cut it, around 10 in a row, including the snap-off at first base, if you take away that single.
The first pitch to Matt Scannell was skied foul behind home plate. He had retired 5 in a row. Just 1 strikeout amongst that stretch, but he's gotten a good deal of flyouts, groundouts. Only had 1 scoreless outing for the Pittsburgh Panthers in the ACC this season, but he dominated against Georgia Tech, went really deep for Mike Bell, the head coach up in Pittsburgh. The 0-1 on the way. Misses low. Skips away from the catcher. Guzman taking off for second. Arndt, and he's going to be in time as he slides in a second. Well, Arndt's usually the one doing the picking off and catching guys, getting a lot of thieves on the base pass in a second. Nonetheless, he forces Guzman into some stress there.
Yeah, but getting a great jump on those dirt balls is really what makes the difference. Brian Arndt, of course, very familiar with how a pitch crosses the plate. Saw it there, got a good jump, and in there safely, scoring position.
His second stolen bag on the season. The 1-1 dips low here to Scannell, the Princeton product. It's 2-1. 2 away in the top of the 4th. Harwich and Bourne tied at 1. 6 hits combined here. Logan Evans, meanwhile, working out of the stretch. Harwich getting its first runner in scoring position since the 1st inning. Strong lead off of second for Arndt. Meanwhile, Scannell looking to get on the board with a hit here as Evans tries a fake pickoff back at second. Vastine, the Vanderbilt infielder, nowhere near the bag. Hits have come alive for Scannell as of late. Had the home run against Yarmouth Dennis on the road, 2-1. A swing and a miss as he knocks off part of the mask of Guzman. That actually looks like it was his elbow guard. Collided with the mask that time behind home plate.
I
So
think
it'll
it
be
was
2
the
and 2.
bat that caught Guzman in the head when Scannell came all the way around in his backswing.
That's a good point you make, Devin. You certainly heard some contact on that mask. Both are all right here as Scannell, the southpaw, stands in on the inner half of the box. Runner on second, 2 away, 1-1. Here's the pitch. It goes low. Now 3 and 2 here to Scannell after he swung on the first pitch and grounded out 5-3 back in the second. Mariners getting a convincing road win last night at Go Fuller Field, an 8-1 win against the Falmouth Commodores. Only needed 2 relievers in Dylan Delvecchio and Chandler Marsh, the Georgia product, and now another lobbing fake pickoff back over to second. Mariners scoring first in this one in the top of the first. Infield single from Kennedy Jones, bringing home Jacob Humphrey, the leadoff hitter here today. The payoff pitch. Banged over towards the right side. It's on the ground for Bender as he races to the bag and makes the play himself for the final out of the inning. So Harwich brings Ford to the plate, and despite moving Arndt into scoring position with the stolen base himself, scores no runs on no hits, no errors, and leaves one stranded. 1-1 between Harwich and Bourne going into the bottom half of the fourth here from Doran Park. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Still a 1-1 game between Harwich and Bourne going into the bottom of the fourth. Tim Noon, the Babson College left-hander, back on the mound, set to face the middle of the order here for Bourne at 6-7-1 on the season. It'll be Jackson Castillo, Sam Peterson, and Pete Shafreda up here. The first pitch watched at low as it bounces to the backstop for ball number 1 here. First time through the order of Bourne. Noon only allowing 1 run, an RBI base hit from Eblin as this one is looped out and towards left field. Jones going back on the running catch just in front of the warning track. He makes the play. I tell you something, Devin. Kennedy Jones has made a lot of noise in the lineup, those RBIs, but he certainly knows how to command that left field corner.
We saw him make a tremendous catch a couple games ago out in left field, a diving grab that ended the inning. He's been fantastic in left field. Makes it look so casual. I always see him trotting over to a ball. I'm like, okay, how's he going to pull this in? And lo and behold, right in the webbing.
First one on the way to Sam Peterson, the Huxley, Iowa native. The pitch. Grounded foul to the left side. Little ground ball to the left side. Ranked as the 186th player nationally. The 0-2. Bounces just in front of the plate. It's 1-2. Peterson 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to third, back to start a 1-2-3 second here for Tim Noon. The Mariners wearing their road Navy uniforms, Navy caps, red brim, gray pants with blue lining down the side. The 1-2 from Noon, inside on a slider. Peterson hitting .333 on the season through 4 games, 4 hits, 2 RBIs. He has nobody to work with on the base pass here with 1 away. 2-2. A foul tip off the glove of Lawrence, and it goes at 2-2 still. Peterson with 53 hits for Iowa this season. Did not lead the Hawkeyes, the 2-2. Chopped foul to the left side. We'll do it again. A 1-1 ball game between Harwich and Bourne here in the bottom half of the fourth. The Mariners last night starting that 3-game road stretch explosively with 4 runs in that top of the first. 2-2. Line foul. Mariners have a little bit of spark to look on thus far. RBI infield single from Kennedy Jones, we just mentioned a moment ago to you. RBI infield single. For the Mariners last night, they got a sacrifice fly in addition to 3 hits in the first. The 2-2 slider outside 3-2. Payoff pitch. Line foul to the left side. A tad early to say the least there for Peterson, the 5-hole hitter here today.
I'll tell you what, Wyatt, I have been impressed with Noon's ability to get out of innings. I mean, he's surrendered 4 hits, but just 1 run. He's found ways to get ahead of hitters earlier in the inning, and then there's been a couple people getting on later, but you can afford to do that when you're recording outs.
Slam foul to the right side. The at-bat goes past 5 pitches here for Peterson, the center fielder out of Iowa, and it's an Iowa team that won 44 games this season, had one of the best bullpens in the Big Ten. As Noon is ready, the southpaw deals a 3-2 again, and it misses inside just below that belt. So it's going to be a 1-out walk here for Sam Peterson. That discipline at bat, something that he's carried over from the Iowa Hawkeyes as he sets up Pete Chafreda. So Chafreda coming up here, the Rutgers product. Had 50 hits at Lafayette this season, now transferring. That forces Noon to work out of the stretch here with still 1 away. Bourne getting 3 base runners back in the third. Brought 1 run home to score for a 3-hit inning. The pitch taken on the outside corner for strike number 1.
Forgot Scott Landers uses numbers to communicate his signs to his players. He'll just yell them out. That's what he's doing over at third base. I doubt it can be picked up by our mics. Wyatt, you were pretty famous. I was rewatching the Nesson game last night. I heard your voice a few times over the field mic.
Have to project. Certainly aren't going to be able to reach the audience as easily that way. 1-1 now here to the southpaw in Chafreda.
Got a few good calls out of you on regional television.
Just off that effects mic as the 1-1 is popped foul. Mariners will be looking for scoring going into the 5th inning here with Lavari, Obi, and Arias coming up. Just 1 hit amongst the bottom of the order here for Harwich. On first is Peterson, the Iowa Hawkeyes outfielder with 1 away. A 1-1 ball game between Bourne Harwich, second meeting on the season. It's a southpaw battle here at the plate and the mound. The 1-2, breaking ball high. I don't think he's going to go for that. It's 2-2.
Just a little too high for it to be a waste pitch. No way that Chafreda is going to bite at that.
White House Station, New Jersey native, senior. 2-2, the runner goes.
Trouble.
Lobs foul towards Lavari. He's playing the chalk. He's into foul territory. He makes the catch. And that'll force Peterson to scamper back to first, 2 away. And this is what you need here if you're Noon. You want to be able to get into that momentum that you found, despite allowing a couple of base runners that first time through the order. So that brings up Jonathan Vastine for the 2nd time here today. Flied out to center back in the 2nd. Now tries to move Peterson into scoring position after the foul to the third base side. Lots of pickoff attempts here against Peterson. The 1-out base runner initially here. It's 1 run on 2 hits for Harwich, 1 run on 4 hits here for Bourne. Team that's gotten hot as of late. 3-3 here at Doran Park. Had a 4-game homestand as well. It's about as much hospitality at home as you can get right now. I haven't seen a lot of 4-game homestands thus far. The pitch, a foul tip into the glove. Strike 1 here to Vastine, played for Tim Corbin, a longtime head coach at Vanderbilt. Tough conference to play in the SEC. 0-1 misses low. Arndt was about set for a back pick there. So it's 1-1 here with 2 away, 1 on here for Bourne. Go-ahead run is on base here, and Peterson getting on the board with an RBI hit back in the third. Pitch is lined down the right field line, and it's through for a base hit. That will send Peterson off for second and more. He'll be going off for third. Vastine holding at first, so there are runners on the corners on a 2-out RBI base knock for Jonathan Vastine. This is first on the night.
And I'm not sure exactly what Peterson was doing. 2 outs, you go on contact, fair or foul, and this ball was fair by like 3 feet. He was standing in the middle of the first base path, not knowing what to do, and eventually made his way down to third. Not sure he would have had a chance to score, but nonetheless, kind of a low IQ move that time, baseball IQ rather, by Peterson. But runners on the corners now, still a chance for Bourne to cash in. Bottom of the order, though.
So that brings up Joey Loynd, the Delaware product, as R.J. Thomas, the pitching coach, goes out to have a mound meeting alongside the battery mate and Brian Arndt tonight. Huge spot here for Bourne, and still is yet to lead in this game after trailing Harwich 1-0 going into the bottom third. 1-out RBI base hit from Chris Stanfield, the designated hitter. Or rather, Bryce Eblin with the RBI base hit, single to center, bringing home that first run in Adonis Guzman. It's a Bourne lineup that is hitting .270, top mark in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Also has 29 stolen bags this season. Now runners on the corners here for Loynd, the Delaware product, as he watches it outside for strike number 1. Hit .392 this season. Delaware of the CAA. Harwich with a few CAA guys as well. The 0-1 on the way. Vastine taking off for second. No throw from Arndt. He faked twice, pumped once to second, then to third. Probably smart he didn't throw the ball away there. That would have been the go-ahead run scoring on what would have been an error from Arndt. So 1-1 here to Loynd. Here's the pitch. Spiked foul down the left side. 30-20 Delaware went this season, 17-13 in the CAA.
Big opportunity for the Braves here to get on top, especially with the weather of which we don't know what to expect. If you can get ahead before this 5-inning mark, that would be pivotal.
Winds were blowing south at 6 miles an hour at first pitch here tonight. Certainly much more now, picking up a 1-2. Slider floats inside, just below the belt. Now 2-2 here to Loynd. Fouled out to first base back in the third. Vastine now on second. Stolen base here. Very speedy Bourne team. Pitch is skied foul down the right field line. Scannell and Carrier chasing after it. Carrier is going to let it fly over the fence, as we'll do it again. Certainly have to credit the attentiveness down the right side as well. Carrier taking those wide strides. We've talked about it a couple of times this season. Now a shift applied to the left side. Rise starting to shade towards the second base bag. Peterson on third, Vastine on second. The pitch, line into left field. Jones makes the catch on the line. An excellent play by the South Carolina outfielders. He was moving to his right as Bourne strains 2 in scoring position. It's no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving 2 on. Tied at 1 going into the 5th here from Doran Park. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 1-1 between Harwich and Bourne here at Doran Park. The Mariners on the second game of a 3-game road stand. Kenny Lavari, Devin Obey, Ivan Arias coming up as the lower third of the lineup here. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobek here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Mariners only stranding 2 thus far, despite getting on the board first in the top of the first. Logan Evans gives a chopper over towards the right side. Eblin on 2 bounces, fires a weak one over to first, and there's one away. Lavari aggressive out of the count. He falls to 0 for 2 here on the night.
I'll tell you what, Logan Evans has really calmed down here in this outing. He's faced more than the minimum just once since the first inning. Mowing him down in order, and we'll see how Harwich can respond here against what's been great starting pitching. About to enter the 3rd time through the lineup.
Devin Obey, the Duke product, steps up, and he swings through a first pitch fastball for strike number 1. Opportunity here for Harwich to strike again after striking first back in the first with an RBI infield single. The 0-1 outside. It's 1-1 here. Logan Evans, the Pittsburgh right-hander, with 2 scoreless outings this season for longtime Pittsburgh head coach Mike Bell. Here's the 1-1. A swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Meanwhile, Bourne back in the bottom of the 4th, leaving its best chance on the table, not getting a run across with 2 in scoring position. Tim Noon getting out of a mini jam. There's the 1-2 from Evans. It floats low. It goes to 2-2. Devin, that is something that you certainly have to applaud Tim Noon, the Babson College transfer, to be able to show that sense of elevation in his mentality, not only the pitches he was dealing. There's the 2-2 now to Obey. A check swing, and it comes down the pipe nonetheless as Obey gets caught looking, as he falls to 1 for 2 on the day after a single to left back in the second. They're quickly 2 away.
Yeah, that's just pure paint that time. 6 strikeout for Logan Evans. He looks really locked in out there on the mound. Now trying to finish his 5th complete inning. We're only an hour into this one.
Ivan Arias, the Boston native, just transferred from Vanderbilt, Tim Corbin's program, has surpassed 20 seasons as the head coach there. As Arias now at Dayton coming up this season as a rising sophomore at 5'9", $170. Here's the first pitch on the way. It's a swing and a miss from Evans. First strike number 1. Arias striking out, swinging back in the 3rd. Corbin saying that Ivan loves to play. Positivity on the field certainly noticeable. 0-1, a chopper over towards the left side. Vastine on 3 hops, fires over to first, dug up out of the dirt, but it's not in time.
I'm not, excuse me, I'm not really sure what Vastine was thinking. He took 3 pumps before he let go of that baseball. And, of course, you got to set your feet and stuff to make a good throw, but it looked like it was just a little too much there and might have cost him the infield single.
Well, Devin, it was 13 hits on the road last night against a Falmouth team that certainly had a lot to offer with its starter in Isaac Tiger. And the Mariners here on the road, they get their 3rd hit of the ball game and their first since back in the 2nd. Certainly an encouraging feel here for Arias. Now the first pitch on the way to Jacob Humphrey. Takes it on the outer half for strike number 1. Humphrey on the day, 0 for 1 with a walk back in the first, grounded out 6-3 back in the 3rd. The Mariners and the Braves tied at 1 here with 8 combined hits, no errors apiece. Evans with the 0-1. Arias almost took off, and it almost plunked Humphrey in the head. Drew a loud gasp here from the Bourne faithful at Doran Park. The wind blowing out to left field now. It's certainly picking up, and we'll see how that can help the right-handed hitter in Humphrey, whether he's able to pull or line it back up the middle. We'll see what his approach is here as the count's even at 1. 2 away, 1 on here. The 1-1, a swing and a miss. Evans gets it back ahead in the count. It's 1-2 now. Humphrey last night leading off with a double back in the leadoff spot again. The 1-2 from Evans. A swing and a miss. It gets back to the backstop, and they're going to say that was foul tipped. So that'll keep him alive here.
Would have been real interesting if it wasn't tipped and got to the backstop. See the race between Humphrey down to first with speed, with the ball bouncing off the wall there, and then the catcher and Guzman trying to force it there. Would have been a pretty good race.
I mean, I think we also know with the speed of Arias that he would have at least tried for 3rd, if not for settling for 2nd. Evans is ready at the belt, the 1-2. Breaking ball line back into the screen. We'll keep it here. Mariners getting on the board first with an RBI infield single in the top of the first. A 1-out hit from Kennedy Jones. Bourne finding the scoreboard in the bottom of the third. An RBI base hit from Bryce Elbin. The pitch. Sky to the right side. Running over a carrier, or rather Chafreda, and it's going to run out of room there. This is a really good at-bat here for Jacob Humphrey, who's been prone to the strikeouts this season. He's got to get a punch out here today. Evans, meanwhile, looking for his 7th strikeout. He shakes off the sign. Now he has the sign, working with a runner on. Here's the 1-2. Outside, a back pick down to first, and it's nowhere near the bag as Bender was ready, but Arias beat him in.
Great job by Bender to get down and block that ball. If it scoots into right field, then down into scoring position goes the speedy Arias, and that could have been really bad.
1 on, 2 away here. The Mariners and the Braves tied at 1. 8 combined hits thus far. Can the Mariners climb back ahead here with a 2-out rally? The 2-2. Arias takes off for second. It goes low. The throw down to second. Not in time.
Great slide. Close play, though. Arias really just took a look at the catcher, which is something that's like the cardinal sin when you're stealing a base, not to look at the catcher. Took his eyes off the base, and it was a bang-bang play. Lucked out.
First stolen base of the season for the Vanderbilt transfer in Arias, as he now has a strong lead off of second here. Here's the payoff pitch. Lofted into left field, and it's down for a base hit. This could be extra bases. Rounding third, Arias. He will coast into home, standing up. And standing up at second is Jacob Humphrey with a 2-out double. And the Mariners find themselves ahead once again here in the 5th, as it's 2-1 Harwich.
That's a really nice swing from Jacob Humphrey that time. An inside pitch, and he's able to get those hands inside and just crush it out into that corner in left field. Evans loses the battle that time, but yeah, just a really nice piece of hitting. And, of course, Castillo way out almost in left center field, so nowhere near the play. Plenty of time for Arias to score, and Humphrey stand-up double.
Humphrey with a double in 2 straight games now after getting one in the top of the first at Go Fuller Field last night. The first pitch to Ali Camarillo skied back behind home plate. Camarillo at 6'1", $175, the junior of Chula Vista, California. Had a standout season at Cal State Northridge of the Big West. Had a season-high 3 hits last night in that 7-run win at Falmouth. Humphrey standing off of second with 2 away. The Mariners back ahead. It's 2-1 here in the 5th. Evans, the Pittsburgh product, looks back at second against the speedy Humphrey. Here's the pitch. A called strike on the inner half as it bobbles off the glove. The catcher, Guzman. It's 0-2.
Around the league, Cotuit on top of Orleans 4-1. That game in the top of the 8th at Lowell Park. Wareham beating Brewster 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th. And the other games just getting started out in Chatham and Falmouth.
Meeting between the catcher and Guzman of Boston College and Evans of Pittsburgh adjourns. Harwich with 2 away in the top of the 5th. Humphrey with an RBI double. Zipped into left field. Could not have been. Had a looping carry as it hit the grass cleanly. Now the catcher in Guzman having a bit of issue in adjusting the chest guard here, chest protector, as Ali Camarillo steps in trying to get back into this battle. Down 0-2 in the count with 2 away. Wind blowing out to left field. So I think it might have helped Humphrey. Camarillo trying to capitalize on that here. The Mariners straightening 1 back in the 1st and 1 back in the 4th. And now it's a quest to get some insurance runs here as they have a 1-run lead again. Here's the 0-2. Bounces low in the dirt. An excellent take from Camarillo. He told Humphrey to hold up at second. So it'll be 1-2 here. The new Texas A&M infielder. He announced his transfer decision on social media a couple weeks ago, actually while Texas A&M was playing in the Stanford Regional. Stanford had an excellent season, a national seed. Just went to the top 8. 2 away, 1 on at second. The 1-2. Soft tapper to the left side as it bounces in front of the Bourne dugout. We'll do it again. Now this is a characteristic that Camarillo has really developed, just be able to stay alive in his at-bats. He delivered his first RBI hit of the year as well in that first extra innings contest for the Mariners. That was a 5-4 win. The Mariners looking at Camarillo for 10 hits thus far, sitting at 9-4 in first place on the Cape Cod East Division standings. Taking it back last night, Camarillo had a huge night. 3 hits for a season high. The 1-2 goes in the dirt. That will send Humphrey down to third. A good block that time by Guzman on a wild pitch again from Evans. And now the Mariners looking to get it a little bit easier here with a 2-1 lead. And Evans, meanwhile, still experiencing some command issues.
And regardless of the count, this is a spot that Camarillo able to thrive in. We saw him have the walk-off hit. He had 3 hits last night, and now a chance to knock in a run. Timely hitting, something that Harwich needs to pursue. This could be one of those things that you look back on at the end of the ball game if you can't cash in.
Here's a 2-2 from Evans. Breaking ball tapped over towards the left side into the glove of Loyne. He moves to his left. He's on the ground, fires to first, and it's not in time. An RBI infield single for Ali Camadillo despite an 0-for-2 start. That'll score Jacob Humphrey from third, and the Mariners find themselves ahead by 2, 3-1 here in the 5th.
That's just what the doctor ordered. A great play by Joey Loyne to knock it down. Unfortunately, after he did knock it down, had to do that spin, and that took a little bit of time. Didn't have enough to get it over to first base on a line. It's an infield single, but nonetheless, great effort to knock that ball down.
2 runs thus far here in the top of the 5th at Bourne Park, which has grown quieter as the Mariners find their second lead of the game. The pitch, skied out towards right field. Jones giving it on the run. 2 going after it, and the first baseman in Bender and Chafreda, but it bounces just to the right of the chalk. It's on the right side. So it'll be 0-1 here to Jones, the former UNC Greensboro product. 1 for 2 here today, single to short back in the first, and that scored Jacob Humphreys. He now has 2 runs on the ball game. Scoring on 2 infield singles, the UMass Lowell product doing a little bit of everything here today. As Camadillo reaches on a 2-out RBI base hit. Kennedy Jones now at South Carolina. Entered the transfer portal this offseason. And the pick down at first is in time. Logan Evans turned around on the drop of a hat, and he got Ali Camadillo just a bit off guard as that marks the final out of the inning. But the Mariners, they tack on 2 additional runs. They get those 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave none on base, no errors aside from that. A 3-1 lead for Harwich. We're halfway home here at Bourne Park as the Mariners look to go 10-4 on the season. 3-1 lead for Harwich, 5 hits apiece. We're coming back at you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Now batting, the catcher from Boston.
3-1 lead for Harwich going into the bottom half of the 5th here at Bourne Park. The Mariners ahead of the Bourne Braves, their second meeting on the season. A new pitcher into the ball game here in Xavier Martinez, the right-hander at 6'1", $180 out of Cal State Northridge. The Bonita, California native relieves Tim New in the Babson College product. He went 2 innings for his first scoreless outing this season last time out. He has 3 days of rest here. The first pitch on the way to Adonis Guzman, taken low and outside for ball number 1. Guzman hit a double to center field back in the 3rd. The pitch taken inside on a slider goes to 1-1. So not too much rest here for the right-hander in Martinez. Fastball at 92 miles an hour. Pitch is outside. It's 3-0 here.
Yeah, control going to be an early struggle for Martinez, it appears. He's just not hitting his spots.
Here's the 3-0. Taken low, 4-pitch walk. Guzman reaches for the second time here today, as the Mariners will have Martinez working out of the stretch right away. None away after a 2-run top of the 5th inning. You consider that you, of course, want some stability out of your pitching, Devin. This is the Mariners pitching staff that has a 2.15 ERA over the last 5 games. Run production's been a concern at times, as that will flip the lineup card here for Chris Stanfield, as he's 1 for 2 here today. In the designated hitter slot, he watches one high for strike number 1. So a leadoff walk here for Guzman. The catcher had some trouble with the chest protector back in the top of the 5th. Check back over at first. Guzman stands safely. Martinez, a rising junior at Cal State Northridge of the Big West Conference. He actually helped CSU Northridge to a 19-10 conference record. 0-1 on the way, a slider beautifully planted on the outer half. You can almost see the seams on it. It's 0-2.
Great pitch that time.
Whew.
Really good location. That's a pitcher's pitch. Even if it's put in play, it's likely going to be a ground ball to the right side, maybe a double play.
The 2-strike pitch. Chopped over towards the right side in the direction of Arias at second, flips to 1, and he's only going to get it at second as Camarillo covered in time. It'll be a fielder's choice here for Stanfield, as Guzman is out 4-6 here. There's 1 away. The Mariners still ahead 3-1. And if you want to face anything, you want to be able to face runners out of scoring position here. Now the opportunity for a ground ball double play to close it out here in the bottom of the 5th, after the Braves stranded 2 in scoring position last time they were up in the 4th. We had our guest on in Jared Carabas, very well known around media, particularly with DraftKings. The first pitch scorched into left field into the 5-6 hole. It's a base hit for Bryce Eblin, the second baseman, as he moves to 2 for 3 on the day. A throw back into second was not in time. So now runners on first and second here with 1 away. What did you take away from Carabas' conversation? I know it was certainly something you'd aspired to do for a long time.
I mean, yeah, he's someone whose podcast I've listened to for years and years and years. He makes baseball interesting. I have his notifications on from Twitter, and this was all before any of this happened, which is the cool thing. So I feel like kind of all my attention that I've paid him and things paid off, and he was a really nice guy, responded to my message within 3 minutes, gave me his cell phone number, and was like, yeah, I'd love to do it, and I think he provided some great content for people to enjoy.
I mean, he gave us a few laughs here as well. He was talking about his least favorite Red Sox player.
Yep, Pablo Sandoval.
Pablo Sandoval, yeah. How about that?
I can't blame him. I might have to be there right with him. I don't know if I'd have to really put some thought to it, but that's a good pick. Someone who really just did not live up to any of the expectation or hype. Wasted money. I mean, everything was just bad about that.
2 on, 1 away. The Mariners head 3-1 on the road here at Durant Park. Bottom of the 5th, Martinez out of the stretch. The pitch, a half swing and a tapper over towards the right side, foul. Derek Bender up here after a single from Bryce Eblin to move Stanfield into second. Martinez needing just 1 more here at his first inning of relief. The 0-1, runner takes off from second and third. It's a strike. The throw down to third is going to be in time. So a huge play that time from Brian Arndt. The excellent back pick. Kenny Lavari was ready, and there were 2 away. The Mariners still ahead 3-1 as the at-bat will continue here for Derek Bender.
Aggressive base running, and not a great jump that time from Stanfield. He just got gunned down. He started his slide real early, too.
The 2-strike pitch. Slider lofted into left field, moving to his left, Jones. He looks up, and it splits the outfielders. That will send 1 home to score in Eblin. And moving into second will be Bender on a 2-out double. And the extra base hit is what Bourne needs with 2 away to try and get a 2-out spark here, still trailing by 1 here as it's an RBI hit.
It is what they need, but I'll tell you what, the Mariners caught a serious break there. If they don't put the double steal on, Stanfield is in scoring position, and Eblin's on first. Both those guys are scoring on that ball, hitting the gap, and it should be a tie game, but fortunately, Brian Arndt able to throw out Stanfield at third, and now still a 1-run ball game, but Bourne still threatening.
7 hits now for the Braves. The first pitch from Martinez way high to Castillo. 2 away with a runner on second, and Derek Bender on the RBI double. Martinez in a righty-lefty battle here against Castillo. Pitch, a slider swung on a miss. It gets away from Arnie, sheds the mask, pumps down to third, but no throw. As that will send one in to third here, and that's going to be Bender. Probably the wise choice that time from the UNC Wilmington catcher and Arndt. Not to throw the ball away. So it's going to be 1-1 here with 2 away. Now a runner on third, the tying run that is, against the right-hander and Xavier Martinez at 6'1", 180. 1-1, slider skied out towards right field. Carrier stepping to his right, makes the catch for the final out of the inning. But the Bourne Braves draw a run closer after falling behind by 2 to start off the 5th. A run here on 2 hits, and they leave one stranded in scoring position. 3-2, Harwich over Bourne here at Doran Park. The wind blowing out to left field as well. It's 12 combined hits going into the 6th. We're coming on back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Harwich ahead 3-2 over Bourne going into the top of the 6th here. It'll be Carrier, Arndt, and Scannell due up here. Rather, Kennedy Jones, Lorenzo Carrier, and Brian Arndt. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. The first pitch on the way, a strike down the middle. The South Carolina product for strike number 1. Jones coming up here today, 1 for 2, a single to shortstop, an RBI single back in the 1st, line out to center back in the 4th. Mariners looking for insurance runs. Pitch swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Jones, one of the RBI leaders, not only in Harwich, but in the Cape Cod League this season. New pitcher in here for Bourne and Matthew McShane, the 0-2 Del Tie. It's 1-2. Well, it was initially announced on the public address system it was Lorenzo Carrier, but it's indeed Jones. McShane 3-0 with a 5.46 ERA at St. Joseph's this season, a team that went 28-24. 1-2. Scott back behind home plate. Trying to make the catch is Guzman on the right side as he makes it in foul territory on the track. As there's one away, Jones retired for the 2nd time here tonight.
And then he whipped it into left field trying to go around the horn. Good thing he made the catch, but yeah, just launched it after that.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of Miami, Lorenzo.
So Logan Evans, the Pittsburgh right-handed starter for Bourne here with 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Similar start to what he had dealt last time when the Mariners and the Braves met at White House Field. Evans allowed 3 earned runs through 3 innings. I want a rain-abbreviated game as well as Lorenzo Carrier steps in, looking to avenge an 0-for-2 start here tonight. The Mariners ahead of the Braves 3-2, 12 combined hits, 5 for Harwich, 7 for Bourne. First pitch, a slider spiked back behind home plate, foul. Just a little bit far for some lucky fans sitting on a terrace formatted hill here.
Yeah, it's cool how they do it. People can bring their own seats and just set them up right on the tiers.
0-1, shot down the right side, but it goes well foul. It'll be 0-2 here. Yeah, it's interesting because at White House Field, we have a slight hill down the right and left field line. Eldridge Park, it's a little bit more of a gradient. But here it's Carrier trying to protect with his team ahead by 1. He's trying to get the 8th hit on the day here. The 0-2. Lofted foul down the right side. We'll do it again.
He's a little behind it. You can tell by the foul balls. He's chopped 3 off to the right now. We'll see if he can get back in the box a little more and barrel one up. But right now, McShane just completely controlling the plate.
1 away, nobody on. McShane, the right-hander, deals. Breaking ball misses low and outside. Mariners still have 1 more road game going into Chatham tomorrow. Rescheduled game from a sprinkle out. The field was a little too soft over at Veterans Fields. We'll play tomorrow. Here's the 1-2 from McShane. Swing and a miss. Carrier goes down on strikes for the 2nd time here today. He's 0-for-3 as they're 2 away. And Matthew McShane looks to be in full control here on the mound in the relief.
Yeah, he's doing a great job getting hitters out. I mean, he's only faced 2, so a small sample size, but nonetheless, the 3rd and 4th hitters in this Harwich lineup by outs that haven't been put in fair territory, so you'll take it. Now we'll see what Brian Arndt can do. He's a tough customer.
And Devin, he's the leading batter in this series as well. Despite just being 1-for-2, he's certainly got some opportunities to extend that here. Had 2 RBIs back in that 3-0 win. A huge 4th inning. The first pitch on the way. Fastball inside below the belt for strike number 1. Albeit he is 0-for-1 tonight, reached as a hits batsman. Had 2 RBIs and what gave the Mariners that 3-0 victory. It was 5 singles, not even an extra base hit. The pitch inside. 1-1 here to the UNC Wilmington Seahawks catcher. It was 3 runs in that 4th inning after the Mariners and the Braves hung up zeros through the early innings that time. Steve Englert's 400th win resulted. 1-1. Lofted out towards left field, sprinting in from left Castillo. He makes the catch for a 1-2-3 inning for Matthew McShane in his first inning of his latest relief outing here for Bourne. A strikeout, a flyout, and a pop-out as well. The Mariners still ahead 3-2 going into the home half of the 6th here at Doran Park. We'll be right back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 3-2 lead for the Mariners going into the bottom of the sixth. The Mariners looking for their second straight win here on a 3-game road stretch. Xavier Martinez of Cal State Northridge winds and fires the first pitch to Sam Peterson. It misses a little high above the Braves' traditional letters for ball number 1 here. Peterson, the Iowa product, 1-0. Fastball zips inside at the belt, goes to 1-1. 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to third, back in the second, walked in the fourth. 12 hits combined here in the second meeting between the Braves and the Mariners. The 1-1, a slider painted on the inner half. And it's 1-2 as Peterson will be forced to protect here. A run on 2 hits back in the fifth for Bourne, but left 2 in scoring position. Here's the 1-2. Slider roped out to left field in the direction of Jones, and he makes the catch on the zip as Martinez slams the glove with a fist. And he deserves that. He's been getting a lot of backup from left fielder of South Carolina and Kennedy Jones all night as there's one away.
Yeah, and he's like a magnet out there. I mean, these are tailing line drives that Jones is just being placed right under. And credit to the Harwich coaching staff who's controlling the shifts and moving Jones around because he has not had to move all too much, and he's been fantastic.
First pitch to Pete Shafrola is grounded over towards the right side foul. Lafayette products. 0 for 2 here today. Grounded out 3-1 back in the second. Fouled out to the right side back in the fourth. He's behind in the count here with nobody on him, 1 away. The pitch, a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Bourne lineup hitting .270 for the best in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Looking for more hits here with 7, trailing Harwich 3-2. The 0-2 for Martinez. Lined back up the middle and through for a base hit over the second base bag. It was past the diving glove of Camarillo as there's a 1-out base runner here in Shafreda. He has his first base hit on the evening.
Yeah, and Bourne needs to get going again. They're still trailing by 1. This game moving right along. Already an hour and a half in and about to wrap up this 6th inning. So Bourne trying to tally some scores before it gets too late. Harwich offense likely not done yet either.
Runner takes off from second. The first pitch to Vastine, clipped on the inner half for strike 1. Arndt dropped it behind the plate as there's a runner in scoring position now in Shafreda with the Mariners ahead 3-2 over the Braves here in the bottom of the 6th from Doran Park. Another stolen base here for the Braves tonight, first for Shafreda. Martinez back out of the stretch here, the 0-1. Lobbed into the infield, over towards the lip of the outfield grass, moving to his right, Camarillo, he makes the catch. And there are 2 away. Vastine falling to 1 for 3 on the night. After a strong season at Vanderbilt to the SEC, there are 2 away.
Just jammed him that time, popped it right up. Easy can of corn for Ali Camarillo.
Now over to Joey Loyne, the Delaware product. 0 for 2 here today. Fouled out to first, back in the third. Line out to left, back in the fourth. Devin, this is going to be an interesting test here for the Braves with the tying run at second. Best batting average, as I mentioned, in the league. Working against Martinez, who's had composure. The first pitch, a slider that comes down the chute for strike number 1.
And it's nasty pitch, that slider, because it comes in flat looking like a fastball, then jumps up and then back down. Really good movement on it.
A 4-pitch arsenal for the right-hander of CSU Northridge. The pitch, liner towards the left side, diving grab by Lavari. He's unable to make it. Coming around from third is Shafreda. He gets the waiver on sign. The throw to the plate is late. The throw down to second now. And it's going to be in time. So the run does score in Shafreda on a 2-out RBI base hit from Joey Loyne. And the Delaware product is gunned down at second on a resilient play from Brian Arndt. But nonetheless, the ball game is tied at 3 apiece going into the late frames here at Doran Park. A thrilling end to the 6th here as Martinez does not have to face more than 4. 3-3, Bourne, Harwich, going into the 7th. We're coming back at you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Well, the Braves get a run back, but a 5-2-4 putout ending the bottom half of the sixth. Matt Scannell, Princeton product, coming back up. Wyatt Kopelman back over to my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek, to close us out in the finals.
Thank you, Wyatt. Scannell's turn. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He's grounded out to third and grounded out to first. Behind in the count, 0-1 against Matthew McShane, who's back out there. He was fantastic, a 1-2-3 sixth upon his entry. Bourne has tied up the ball game at 3, fueled by 9 hits compared to just the Harwich 5. A 1 is fouled off again over towards the Snack Shack in foul territory, and it's 0-2.
The final line on Logan Evans, the starter out of Pittsburgh. 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. McShane has taken over with a 1-2-3 inning back in the sixth.
McShane comes set. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Might have got a piece of the umpire. His mask did fall off, and he appears to be okay. Not even a little shaking up. And so we'll stay at 0-2. And last time Harwich had a night game here at Doran Park, it ended in a walk-off victory from the Braves, a come-from-behind walk-off victory. And this game looking like it's going to come all the way down to the last out the way it's being played. So we'll see who's able to jump out in front. 0-2 is fouled off. And so it'll stay 0-2.
Yeah, credit to Scannell here without a hit here today, grounding out twice. A lot of resiliency all the while.
Scannell does have serious power. Mariners team leader with 13 runs batted in. Here comes the 0-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Got Scannell to lunge at it, and that will be the second strikeout for McShane. First here in the 7th. And there's one away.
Mariners now need another go-ahead run. They look for their third lead of the game, but they've been retired. 4 in order here, not really finding a way around McShane and that mix of the fastball and slider he's shown thus far.
Kenny Lavari's turn. 6'2", 190 pounds out of Old Dominion. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out in the second, grounded out to second in the 5th. It's 0-1 after he fouls off a pitch. College World Series Game 3 going on right now in Omaha, Nebraska. Florida up 2-0 on the LSU Tigers. But the Tigers threatening in the top of the second. Runners on the corners, nobody away. It's a ball and a strike now to Lavari. Lavari, a great game last night. Had a hit and a walk, also a sacrifice fly. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Big home run cut from Lavari. Didn't get any of it, and so it'll be 1-2. Last season, Lavari did have 1 home run. I believe that came in Game 1 against Falmouth, along with Nick Goodwin, who homered. So that one's fouled off. Hit it off his own foot, and so we'll stay at 1-2.
And if you're Harwich right now, you know you have to attack McShane, have a sense of aggression, being able to battle back out of counts falling behind in 5th lowest ERA for Bourne this season.
Ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch to Lavari. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. Both swinging. McShane really locked in. 2 away here in the top of the 7th.
McShane with 5 strikeouts coming into tonight. This is a Bourne team with a strikeout to walk ratio just north of 2.2. So it's not like you're facing a team that has the most strikeouts in the league, but you certainly have to just get the ball in play here.
Devin Obie's turn on the day. He's 1 for 2. Pops up the first pitch he sees, but foul, 0-1. Singled in the second inning before being snapped off a 2-3 putout over on first base, and then struck out in the 5th. It's going to be a ball and a strike now to Devin Obie, the Duke Blue Devil. Mariner starter Tim Noon also just announced that he will be at Duke, leaving Babson. Another pitch fouled off. It's ball and 2 strikes. Now to Obie. On deck, Ivan Arias, the 9-hitter. Ooh, a nice ovation. I think probably a kid got that ball out of play. Everyone real excited as 1-2 to Obie. Misses low and away. 2-2.
He has to get that ball signed by Devin Obi.
That'll be a cool little souvenir to take home from the ballpark. Of course, they do sign after the game. 2-2. Misses up by the face, and it's 3-2. Beautiful night for baseball, nice and cool. Rain did hold off despite 30% at 6, 7, and 8. Payoff pitch. Got a piece of Obi's hand. He's going to jog down to first in some pain, but willing to accept his base, and he's on here with 2 away.
Yeah,
tie ball game.
Yeah, you take anything you can get at this point. You get a single to third back in the 5th from Ali Camarillo, and it was an invaluable RBI base hit. Otherwise, the Mariners would be down by a run, but no hits since, and that ends a streak of 5 straight retired by Matthew McShane. He's been really dominant thus far, working in some good strikeouts. And the Mariners, they have to be able to move runners in a scoring position here. They still have 3 chances to work with here.
Ivan Arias digs in. 1 for 2 with a single. Also came around to score in the 5th inning. See what he's able to do here with a runner on, 2 away, and that will draw out the pitching coach. Not likely that a move will be made just now, but definitely want to talk things over as we're into the late innings now. It's funny, we played almost half the ball game in an hour, and then the last 2 innings have taken 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long game last night. I'm sure Kevin Curtin's going out there just to have a word with McShane, make sure that they can kind of get on the same page again. Hasn't really had too much control with Guzman behind the plate. But if you're Arias here, you have the best opportunity you face thus far. 2 outs and a chance just to move a runner in scoring position. Good speed on the base pass from Devin Obi as well. He could score if he's able to even push one into the gap.
One ball, no strikes to Ivan Arias. Next pitch from McShane is pumped right down the middle. Ball and a strike. On deck, top of the order, Jacob Humphrey. Mariners trying to retain that lead back as Bourne able to tie it up after back-to-back 1-run innings in the 5th and 6th. 2 balls and a strike now to Arias. Obi leading off of first. Here's the pitch, and it's on the inside corner for a strike. Arias didn't like it, but he'll have to live with it. As now 2-2 with 2 away. Deuces Wild here at Doran Park. McShane comes set in the stretch. And I'll take a look over at Obi on first base. Obi has been snapped off once, so probably wise to keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't run, and maybe you can get that out. 2-2. Chopped foul off towards the Bat Boys. And so we'll do it again. McShane comes set. Here comes the 2-2 offering. And it's going to be lined into left field for a base hit. Tailing away from the left fielder in Castillo. Rounding second. Headed into third is Obi. The throw not in time. Down into second is Arias. And just like that, the Mariners with a pair in scoring position for the top of the order. Ivan Arias with a big knock. 2 away.
Yeah, this is what you value if you're Steve Englert, having the speed in the bottom of the order, very contact heavy with Obi, Lavari, and Arias. A nice combination of speed and hitting that time. Arias just roping it into left field. And then just as we were saying, the biggest opportunity for him here, and Humphrey already having a great day, chance to elevate.
Humphrey walked, stole a base, came around to score in the first, also grounded out to the shortstop, and doubled and came around to score. We're going to get a call to the bullpen here. As heading out to the mound, it's going to be the manager. So we'll take a quick break and be right back. Call to the bullpen here in Bourne. Mariners threatening. 3-3 is our score. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
center fielder from UMass.
It's going to be Joe Vygotsky towing the rubber for the Bourne Braves against the top of the order. Night is over for Matthew McShane. His line's still open as he's responsible for both Obi and Arias, who are in scoring position. Vygotsky on the season comes in a 1.80 ERA in the Cape League. This will be his 4th appearance. He's thrown 5 complete innings. Opponents hitting just 118 against him. So going to be a tough customer in Jacob Humphrey to get him started, as 1-0 now is the count. Mariners trying to produce some offense here. The pitch misses outside, and it's 2-0. Ali Camarillo is on deck for the Mariners, 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Humphrey resting that bat on his right shoulder, now waggling it up and down, surveying the runners, and now the pitch from Vygotsky. Misses down low, and it's 3-0.
Vygotsky, a junior at James Madison, the right-hander, had 14 scoreless outings this season, also had 5 saves, but the Mariners have to keep the same approach here.
3 balls and no strikes. As that will be a 4-pitch walk to load up the bases. Jacob Humphrey trotting on down.
Now batting, the shortstop.
It's been quite the day here for Humphrey. You get a pair of walks in addition to double the left, and you really know that you're going to find a way to stay in that top spot, if not the top third of the order, if you continue to produce that way.
We do have a final score. Katuah topping Orleans 5-2 at Lowell Park. As Camarillo, another big spot on the day. He's 1 for 3 with a single. First pitch to him, down in the dirt. 5 straight balls to start Vygotsky's entrance into the game. He's going to have to figure it out in a hurry. Nowhere to put him now against the ever-dangerous Camarillo, who has a team-high 11 hits. Not to mention the clutchest hit of the season thus far, a walk-off one against the Chatham Anglers last week. It's a ball and no strikes. 3-3 our score. Here comes the pitch. And it's going to be popped foul off over our heads. And so it'll be 1-1. Kennedy Jones on deck. It's a ball and a strike. Here comes the pitch to Camarillo. Misses away, and now he's back ahead of the count. It's 2-1.
That's where you got to take advantage of your Camarillo. You feel like you have everything to lose. Meanwhile, Vygotsky, of course, having a pitch to him. Camarillo is very capable of hitting around the zone.
2 balls and a strike on what's now a cool night here in Bourne. And Camarillo shoots it, but foul off to the right. There was a high of 80 today, and it was a little muggy when that sun was out, but now it's cooled down, closing in around 70, a nice slight breeze. Everything coming up baseball weather now as the sun begins to hide behind the cloud coverage, which looks a little dooming out in center field. Some dark clouds. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, and nowhere to put them. Bases loaded. Obi on third, Arias on second, Humphrey on first. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be lined out to right field. Long run for Shafreda, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So the Mariners threaten, but strand the bases loaded. 3-3. Time to stretch here at Doran Park. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
Guzman.
Adonis Guzman set to take on Xavier Martinez, who stands in. Martinez gave up both the last 2 runs here to make it a 3-3 ball game. One coming in the 5th, one in the 6th. We'll see how he responds here in the 7th. First pitch to the 9-hitter is floated in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Martinez comes set. A 1 pitch, another really good breaking ball that slides in there to make it 0-2. Martinez coming set, way ahead in the count. The pitch bounced in the dirt, makes it 1-2. Tie ball game here in the late innings. 1-2 pitch, bounce way in front of the plate, makes it 2-2. That game in Kentuit lasting just 2 hours and 19 minutes. Quick ball game. 2-2 is going to be grounded over to Arias at second. Jumped up on him, but he's able to recover and get the out. 1 away.
And get this, Martinez has a slider and a curveball and a changeup that all hover between around 74 and 79 miles an hour. So as a hitter, it's kind of deceiving when you're expecting one velocity versus another. And then Martinez has been able to paint the zone, as we've alluded to a couple of times here tonight. So it's a pretty deadly combination for what you see at the plate.
Chris Stanfield's turn. On the day, he's 1 for 3. Singled, but then was caught in a rundown on the base paths. He's also flied out to right and reached on a fielder's choice. It's ball and no strikes to him. Bourne trying to gather their first lead of the ball game. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses inside, 2-0. College World Series, LSU with a 4-run top half of the second. 5 runs make that. They are still threatening. 2-0. Misses outside, 3-0. And yeah, Martinez just trying to find his locations. Unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a tough bid as of recently. The pitch. Bounced in the dirt. A 4-pitch walk issued. And so down to first goes Stanfield with 1 away.
Mariners this season averaging just about 10 and a half strikeouts per game over their last 5 games. And that's about 45% of their total strikeouts on the season. And Martinez right now, he just has to focus on the velocity. It's lacked a couple of times. Seen a couple of pitches bounce in front of the plate as he works out of the stretch.
Bryce Eblin's turn. He's 2 for 3. Singled twice, came around to score in the 5th. He's also popped out to the shortstop, Camarillo. Speed on the base paths in Stanfield. And much easier for him to get a jump with a righty instead of a lefty. Eblin drops a bunt. It's going to be foul. Arndt had elected to go down to second. I'm not sure it would have been in time. So Mariners might have caught a break there. Might have been everyone's safe, but we shall see. No balls and a strike. As Martinez will take a look over at Stanfield. He's back in there with a dive. Just joining us into the 7th. 1 away here. Tie ball game at 3. Bourne with a runner on first base. And Bryce Eblin, the Alabama Crimson Tide member, up to the plate. Another check over at first, but in there safely. Wareham on top of Brewster, 8-2. That game in the heading into the 7th at Spillane Field. Hyannis on top of Falmouth, 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. YD smoking Chatham in a barn burner, 7-3. As chopped over to second, Arias will go to first as it wasn't hit too hard. Stanfield into second, and Eblin retired, 2 away.
Arias has been active on the right side of the infield here tonight.
The first baseman from Coastal
And you consider the
Derek
lineouts, the pop-outs that Martinez has been able to get just to prove that he can force some ground ball contact as well has been good for him as he gets his first few appearances here on the season, as R.J. Thomas is going to have a word with him on the mound here in addition to Brian Arndt.
Yeah, just talk things over. Martinez has let up a run in the first 2 innings he's been out there. A run in each inning, I should say. And probably just trying to figure out how to attack the 3-hitter and Bender, who on the day is 2 for 3. Singled back in the first, grounded out to third in the third, and doubled in the 5th. It's going to be a big test. Coastal Carolina product. So here we go. Big at bat coming. Chance to give Bourne the lead. Here comes the first pitch. Misses up high, 1-0. Darker and darker by the minute here at Doran Park. So here comes the 1-0 offering. Misses outside, 2-0. Martinez seems a little preoccupied with the runner on second. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball is going to be lifted high and deep out to left field, tailing, and it's a home run. Wrapped it right inside the pole, a 2-run blast for Derek Bender. I didn't think that thing had the legs, but just kept carrying and tailing right around the foul pole. It's a 2-run shot, and Martinez has now surrendered the lead. 4 earned runs he has let up, and Mariners trail this one 5-3.
Banner, the leader in home runs for Bourne this season, a team that has hit 7. Wasn't the hardest hit ball, but it had a lot of carry on it with the wind blowing in from right field. And Martinez just left it a little bit high at the letters for his taking.
So now it's Castillo's turn. He's 0 for 3. Fielder's choice, and then a pair of flyouts, one to left, one to right. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. So now the Mariners looking at a deficit for the first time in the ballgame, and the first time since they lost to the YD Red Sox. It's a ball and a strike now to Castillo. The pitch. Misses. And so it'll be 2-2. 2-2 pitch to Castillo. This is outside, 3-2. And yeah, Martinez just having a lot of trouble with location. I would imagine this will be the last out for him if he's able to get out of the inning. Got to think Angler going to be headed elsewhere, especially with the lead surrendered now. Payoff pitch is fouled off, and nice job by Castillo to spoil strike 3. 6-2 LSU in the bottom of the second inning. 5 hits for the Tigers, 2 for the Gators. Game 3 of the College World Series. Here's another payoff pitch. Bounced in the dirt, and it'll be another walk. So we'll see if the Mariners want to continue to let Martinez out there, but I would say, yeah, this will be the day for him. Call to the bullpen here as Coach Angler heads out. Martinez's day is over. We'll take a quick break and be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Sam Peterson set to face Brian Zeldin, who's been called in as relief. Zeldin on the season with an ERA of 0. He's thrown 1 1/3 innings. That one's fouled off. And nice little surprise gift for that youngster. Has not allowed a hit. He's been awesome. 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. Peterson on the day, 0 for 2. He's also walked. First pitch, and there's going to be a throw down play at second, and in there with a stolen base is going to be Castillo down to second. No balls, 2 strikes. Peterson trying to extend the Bourne lead. Home run from Derek Bender. Home run from Derek Bender has made it a 2-run ball game as passed ball makes Castillo have a free trip down to third base. And yeah, that ball just bounced right back to Brian Arndt. Really scary if you're a base runner, thinking you have a free 90 and then potential play down. And Zeldin and Arndt not on the same page. Arndt visibly frustrated that Zeldin not listening to the sign as that pitch misses. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Bourne leads this one 5-3. They have a runner on third, 90 feet away. The pitch is going to be popped foul up and back. And I'm not sure what's going on. Going to need an explanation. I think Bourne protesting that there should be some sort of interference. And umpires are going to discuss it now. Wyatt, what'd you see?
Well, it seemed as if the catcher and Arndt was a little bit in the way that time, but I don't think it would have been impeding on the ball actually going into fair play. The home plate umpire and base umpire is now conjoining here just about 6 feet off the mound, as you see, and it's certainly got to feel a little bit frustrating for Zeldin, as you said, just not getting the signs that he's wanted initially, and they're going to say that Peterson's going to be able to advance down to first on some interference from the catcher. And again, there's no video review here, so now Steve Engler's going to come out and have a word on why this may have just been overruled. I think someone just got a warning here as well.
You would be correct, Wyatt. Not sure who, probably a coach on Harwich. But Engler wants an explanation as to why Peterson just got a free 90 feet.
I don't think it was verbal interference this time either. I didn't hear any loud mouthing from the dugouts. I think it was more just Arndt being in the way. Remember, he tried to go for a back pick. Throw runner on third here.
There goes the runner as that one gets by Arndt. So down into second is Peterson. This game really just dragging ever since the 6th inning started. It's taken an hour to play not even 2 innings ever since it took an hour to play 4.5 innings. As this one's going to be grounded over to Arias at second. They'll field it on the first, and the side is retired. But the Braves bring 7 men to the plate, and a home run from Bender breaks the tie. 5-3 Bourne. We head to the 8th. Harwich coming back up, looking for an answer. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
fielder from the University of South Carolina, Kennedy Jones.
And we're back here in Bourne. Kennedy Jones set to get going here. Mariners trailing by 2 and in desperate need of an answer as their offense has really subsided. Jones on the day, 1 for 3 with a single. First pitch is going to be fouled off to the right, 0-1. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, that tiered area for people to sit on becomes very dangerous when kids are chasing after fly balls. It's a ball and a strike now. On deck, Lorenzo Carrier, followed by Brian Arndt. 1-1, bounced in the dirt, makes it 2-1.
Bagatsky had a little bit of trouble coming in with 2 outs in the 7th, giving up a walk to Jacob Humphrey. And we'll see how he's able to cruise in here. Righty-righty battle to a relatively hot-hitting Kennedy Jones.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Misses up and away, 3-1. If Jones can get on, that would bring the tying runner to the plate in Lorenzo Carrier. Someone who has more than the talent to even this ball game with one swing of the bat. 3-1, in there for a strike. 3-2 now to Jones. Big pitch coming up for Vygotsky. Final line for McShane. 1 2/3, 1 hit, no runs, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. Payoff pitch is going to be punched over to the shortstop and caught by Vastine. And so that will be out number 1 to start things in the 8th.
Yeah, just a little bit of a jam shot there. Jones could have had a little bit more in it for it to go into left field had he had some more backspin. But Lorenzo Carrier comes up with none away, and he's been quiet today.
Lorenzo Carrier 0 for 3, pair of strikeouts, and also a ground out. He's already behind in the count 0-1 on a fastball down the middle. Nice cool night here in Bourne. Mariners looking for a little magic as they trail late in this one. 0-1 pitch. It's going to be chopped foul off down the third base side, and it's 0-2. Carrier digging in. The pitch. Just missed outside. A really good pitch to miss with. Right at the belt and away. Brian Arndt on deck. Mariners need to start a rally now or never. The pitch. Just missed. Another really good spot to throw that fastball just off the plate. So it'll be 2-2. Next pitch. Breaking ball in there, and Carrier just watched one too many that time. He goes down looking. 3rd strikeout for him today. And there's 2 away.
Yeah, as he was going back to the dugout, kind of recollecting, muttering to himself that just a tough call. He's just had a lot of tough borderline pitches to try and lay off of here today. And now you're bringing up one of your better hitters over the last 5 games, and Brian Arndt. Opportunity him to hit his first hit, too.
First pitch to him, misses outside. And yeah, for Carrier, as someone who's so tall, really frustrating when you get called on a breaking ball down in the zone. I mean, just no way around it. Not something that really helps you sleep at night. It's a ball and a strike now to Arndt, UNC Wilmington product. Arndt's been hit by a pitch today. He's also struck out and flied out. Highest he's been in the order all season long and the 5 spot. 1-1 pitch is going to be popped up, playable on the right side. Back is Bender. He's under it and puts it away. It's a 1-2-3 8th. Still 5-3 Bourne. We'll be right back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
Now batting, the shortstop.
Home
from
half of the
Bengal
8th, Devin
University,
Dobeck alongside
Jonathan
Wyatt
Vastine.
Kopelman along with you. If you're just joining us, it's 5-3 Bourne. As back out there is Zeldin trying to keep this a 2-run ball game. As count is quickly 1-0 now to Jonathan Vastine. He pops this one up, shallow left field, playable. It's going to be a long run in for Jones, and he's under it, makes the catch. There's one away here. Joey Loyne's turn, bottom 3 in the order
Now batting, the third baseman
for the
University of
Braves,
Delaware,
beginning with Vastine.
Joey
Joey Loyne on the day is 1 for 3. Popped out to first, flew out to left, and then singled back in the 6th. First pitch to him is fouled back towards the netting, and it's on 1. Zeldin rocking and delivering. Breaking ball slides in there to make it 0-2. Zeldin has that old school delivery where he pulls the glove all the way back over his head in the windup. 0-2 pitch. Just off the plate. And it's 1-2. Adonis Guzman on deck. Mariners trying to give their offense one last shot in the 9th. As this one's popped up, foul, and it will escape out of play. Almost got a piece of the light. These kids are really juiced for that ball. Nice. Wow, they're really high demand for baseballs, it appears. 1-2 now. It becomes 2-2. As here's the 2-2 to Lloyd, and he pops it up again, right back towards the same spot. And it's out of play, and there's another mosh pit for it. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 away here in the 8th. Lloyd trying to stay alive. The pitch. Misses outside, 3-2. Payoff pitch coming from Zeldin. Here it is. Foul tipped into the net. Nice play by Brian Arndt to squeeze it. That will be strikeout number 1
now batting, the catcher
for
from
Brian
Boston College,
Zeldin.
Adonis Guzman.
And there's 2 away. Guzman's turn. Singled and scored back, doubled and scored back in the 3rd inning. And he walked in the 5th, grounded out to 2nd in the 7th. Zeldin comes set, and the pitch. Misses down in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. Closing in on 2 hours and 20 minutes into this one. There was a point in this game where it seemed like we would be done before that, but the pace has really slowed down as the pitchers have gotten deeper into at-bats, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. As this one's chopped foul, make it 2-1. Zeldin trying to retire the side in order here in the 8th. Harwich trailing by 2, waiting for their last at-bats. 2-1, swing and a miss, big one. Nice spot for Zeldin to throw that pitch, and it's 2-2. Zeldin holds those hands way out in front before he gets into his motion, and that one misses way up high, 3-2. On deck, top of the order, Chris Stanfield. Some demanding little fans trying to get their teams going. As ball 4 there, we'll have to go to the top of the order. 5th time going through the lineup card for the Bourne Braves, Chris Stanfield set to step back in. He's had a nice little game. A single, reached on a fielder's choice, walked and
Now
scored,
batting,
and also
the
has
designated
flied
hitter
out.
from Auburn University, Chris Stanfield.
Yeah, hard to stay in it sometimes when you get 2 quick outs. You get the game's first strikeout for the Bourne lineup.
Breaking ball is flipped in there to make it 0-1. Zeldin came in as relief in the 7th inning. Has not surrendered a hit yet. Line is closed on Xavier Martinez. I'm not sure we read it to you, but he went 2 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. He is on the hook for the loss as it stands now. No balls, 2 strikes to Chris Stanfield. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Clings off that wall and down the first base line. We'll do it again, 0-2. Bryce Eblin on deck. He's also 2 for 4. The pitch. In there for strike 3. Stanfield is rung up in what could be the final batter of the night for Bourne. 2 strikeouts in the 8th for Brian Zeldin, but he's going to need help from the bats if he wants to go back to the hill. Mariners trailing by 2, top of the 9th, coming right at you on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Now batting, the first baseman.
Call
from
to the
Princeton
bullpen. Joe
University,
Vygotsky's
Matt
day is over. He
Scannell.
goes 1 1/3. No earned runs, no hits, a walk, and a strikeout. He was fantastic to keep the game where it is at for the Bourne Braves. It'll be Dalton Pence out of North Carolina stepping onto the hill. He's 1-0. This will be his second appearance. Opponents hitting 182 against him. Through 3 innings, gave up 2 hits in his first outing, the one in which he got the win. He's ahead 0-1 against Matt Scannell. This one's bounced in the dirt, and it'll be 1-1 now.
Most notably about Pence at North Carolina in his first season, had 50 walks or 50 strikeouts just to 19 walks, so very much capable of striking out the side if he's able.
One pitch is going to be popped up, shallow center field, long way in for Peterson. Out is the shortstop, Bastian, and then it's a diving catch made by, was it the left fielder, Castillo, who came in to make the grab? I think maybe some people lost it in the lights, and Castillo comes in, makes a tremendous play on the baseball. There's one away.
Not as much fog as what had spread across the outfield at Gov-Fuller Field, but it almost seemed like it there. Just a little bit tough for Castillo to see. Vastine completely lost it, and he left it for his left fielder.
Kenny Lavari's turn. He's 0 for 3, struck out twice, and he's grounded out to second. As first pitch to the Old Dominion infielder is outside for a ball, 1-0. It's a mini baseball game going on behind us by the Pride of Bourne's youth. As Lavari rips this one down the line, but foul. Nice piece of contact that time, but just couldn't get it to stay fair. And so it'll be 1-1. On deck, Devin Obi due up in the inning. Mariners looking for 2 runs. 1-1 pitch is big swing and miss. Lavari almost fell over on that one, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Pitch from the lefty. Outside for a ball, 2-2.
Mariners need base runners here. Dire fashion. Haven't gotten one since the 7th. They just got 1 hit there as well.
2-2 pitch set to come to Kenny Lavari. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. First strikeout for Pence. And there's now 2 away here in the top of the 9th.
Mariners striking out 11 times here tonight. And it's now been 6 straight batters retired. It just has not been the day for Mariners hitting. You just get 6 on the road here, and you need a huge spark here from Devin Obi.
First pitch to Obi is in there for a strike, 0-1.
The designated hitter from Duke University, Devin Obi.
So here we go. Last life for the Mariners is in the hands of Obi. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2, and now way ahead. Obi, as the slow clap starts here at Doran Park. Strike 3, and the Braves take this one. 5-3 your final. Back-to-back strikeouts to end it as Bourne collects yet another win. They are rolling. We'll break it all down for you on the Harwich Mariners postgame show, but after a quick break, we'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
And that's
Devin Dobeck here alongside Wyatt Kopelman for the Harwich Mariners postgame show. Mariners dropped this one by a score of 5-3 after leading in the ball game. For the majority, they're up 1-0, they're up 3-1, but then unfortunately Xavier Martinez didn't have his best stuff tonight and ended up getting hurt on the scoreboard.
And you consider what Harwich had also stranded in that 7th inning. They left the bases loaded, had a just chance to take a further lead. Instead, it resulted in a 2-run home run. And, you know, you consider what you get out of Derek Bender. He led Bourne in home runs. You figure that's someone for Xavier Martinez to work around, but you have to get something out of your offense. The Mariners didn't with only 6 hits here on the night.
Brian Zeldin was great coming in relief, didn't allow a hit. Walked a man, had a couple strikeouts. He was fantastic, but unfortunately, by that time, Martinez had already given the game away. Just a tough outing for him, not his best, and I think he knew it. His control was a little off and suffering, but Harwich offense really just fizzled out the last few innings here. Taking a look at the book, they had 1 hit in the last 4 innings. I mean, that's unacceptable if you're looking to win ball games, score runs. Unfortunately, they didn't have it tonight, but Wyatt, you know, sometimes they need to be brought down to earth again, and this Bourne team's solid. They're very hot. They're someone that you probably would expect to lose to at this point, especially with all the ins and outs you got with King, Culpepper, and Fitzgerald departing, but just tough, and this team needs to find a new identity.
Oh, you consider how Harwich has also played 2 of the top 3 hitting teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League the past 2 nights. I mean, you faced Yarmouth Dennis, give you a 5-2 loss at home, and then here today, you just don't get your runners home, and that was a huge problem for the Mariners early on. They only stranded 2 through the first 4 innings, but that's not really anything to move around when you only have 2 hits through those first 4 frames. As you said, you know, the Mariners lacking hits down the stretch as well. It's a Mariners team that averages just over 9.5 strikeouts per game entering tonight, and that's just not going to get it done when you're averaging that many strikeouts over a course of 5 games. You know, you're not facing too many new guys in the lineup for Steve Angler to move around here and just try and mix and match. So you got Ivan Arias in the bottom of the lineup, provide a little bit of a spark, but you certainly need a little bit more at the top of your lineup, especially given what you got out of Jacob Humphrey. I mean, the double tonight, the double last night, and he's finally starting to click, but it's just a matter of everything else backing up him.
It's going to be another good challenge tomorrow at Veterans Field at Chatham. That's the makeup game for when there was kind of that weird rain out in which the game got postponed. Not my favorite ruling in the world, but we'll make it up tomorrow night. Only game in the Cape Cod Baseball League. So be sure to tune in. That one's set to get started at 7 o'clock at Veterans Field. Looking forward to that one. But Wyatt, heading into that game tomorrow, after watching this and after the offense kind of subsided, what needs to change for Harwich to get back in the win column and try and maintain their spot in first place?
The common motif for Harwich this season is just not getting enough run support for its starting pitchers. I mean, Tim Noon today, he only allowed 1 earned run through 4 innings. That was good. He didn't give up a strikeout, but you consider the fact that he was dealing these 1, 2, 3 innings. He had a point where he had retired, I believe it was 5 in a row, if not 5 of 6. And just for him to be able to find that kind of continuity, you need to find some sort of backup for that. Mariners needed to put more RBI hits on the board. Jacob Humphrey was great, but of course you have to just find other RBI hitting late, and it was exemplified no later in that 6th inning.
Well, they try and get back in the win column tomorrow against Chatham at 7 o'clock at Veterans Field. Looking forward to that one. But a huge shout-out to Jared Carabas, who was able to join me in the press box. And thank you to you, Wyatt, for allowing that to happen and making that possible. That was a really fun experience. Really glad he got to join. Unfortunately, wearing the Bourne colors, but we'll get over it. But that just about wraps us up. Final box score. Bourne, 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors. The Mariners, 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The win goes to Joe Vagatsky. The losing pitcher is Xavier Martinez. And the save is handed to Dalton Pence. That's all we got for you here from Doran Park in Bourne. On behalf of our producer, Sean Sears, my partner, Wyatt Copeland, and myself, Devin Dobeck, thank you so much for tuning into the Harwich Mariners YouTube network, and always remember to live the dream. We'll see you next time.